योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय बिन्दुनादान्तरात्मने आदिमध्यान्तशून्याय गुरूणां गुरवे नमः। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषे च प्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरैनं जहि रावणिम्। A warm welcome to everybody. Uh, we are continuing with the conversation that we were having uh, in the previous session. The conversation was about the attributes that we have been listing about Rama, or the attributes that were listed by Valmiki as part of his elaborate question on finding a complete person, a man filled with all these attributes who is currently living, and not the story of someone in the form of a legend. See, we hear so many stories as part of legends. So the difficulty to believe in such legends is that authenticity, and also the distance in terms of space, distance in terms of time. Since we are cut off from that particular person or that particular era for a long time, we won't be able to relate ourselves. We think that it is not so relevant at all. So, how do we ensure relevance in all these things? So, if we have to ensure relevance, then one should witness these attributes to be present in one person in that time. So, that is the reason why Valmiki asked that question, Kon vasmin sampratam loke. So, his question was very much related to the current time of his era. And the idea of reading Ramayana is not just to glorify that Rama was a great man or Rama was a great dharmika. The moment we say that Rama was a great dharmika, that ends the conversation there and there itself, because that conversation or that statement is the conclusive statement, or it's like a dead statement, if we say, if I can say so. The reason why it is a dead statement is because it doesn't allow us to relate with that. And this has been the problem in our narrative. When we take a look at the narratives that have happened so far in our country about all these epics, all the itihasas and puranas of our country, every time the epic or every time this Mahakavya has been presented to us, it has always been presented in the past tense. It has been told to us in a way that Rama existed like that. In that era, Rama existed like that. So the moment you say this, it automatically sends a message, a deep lying message to the mind that it is impossible in this era. So we ourselves are negating the very purpose of studying Ramayana. So if I start saying, and on the contrary, look how we present the deities, devatas, whatever the devata is. When we talk about devata, we talk about devata in a sense that it is still present, it is alive, it is used in present tense. And when we talk about characters like Rama, we talk in past tense. And this small adjustment that we make in our narration, in our presentation, helps us in the long run. And in the long run, it is very important for us to hold this idea firmly in our head, in our mind, that Rama does not belong to the category of was. He is not a legend. He is an example, an evergreen example, a benchmark that is always there. So if I want to emulate something, if I want to achieve something, I need a framework. And that framework is Rama. How to live? If this was the question, if I am very serious about my life and if I want to make use of my life, then obviously this question will rise one day. How to live? And the answer for how to live is Rama, Rama's life. So it doesn't matter when we say that when we take that in the context of an example, it doesn't matter whether it is in past or present, it is always relevant. So many examples are still given from the bygone era, but it is still found to be quite relevant. So Ramayana or Rama's character has to be understood in this sense that it should serve as an example for us. It should serve as a benchmark for us. It should serve as the bar. It should be the order for our life. So in that sense, when we take a look at the attributes that were listed by Valmiki, all those attributes make sense. That this is the reason why Ramayana is being presented to you in the form of attributes, not in the form of a story. Stories are something that helps us to understand the underlying attribute, or it highlights the attribute of Rama. The point that I need to focus is not the list of attributes, but how exactly those attributes outpoured in Rama, and how better can I associate with those qualities or with those attributes? How can I and align myself? How can I adapt myself? How can I monitor and conduct myself in such a way that this particular quality or this particular virtue gets highlighted? That is the whole purpose of taking up Ramayana as part of Iswara to Swara. So if we have to reach from the Swara that we use till Ishvara, then we need to consider the path as present. It is alive. It is still ticking, and not something that is in the bygone era. Anyway, so in this context, we continue with the conversation. We know the story. In the previous class, we were supposed to complete the both the prosecution as well as the defense of Rama. Unfortunately, the prosecution itself did not get the opportunity to conclude their arguments. So one last argument remains, a couple of more words after that argument, conclusive remarks, as well as one more argument remains from Vali. So he has so far presented two things. One is that you have picked up or you have interfered uh, in a fight. When there was a fight between two people, you have interfered in between the fight, which is wrong. Secondly, without any actual reason, without any proper reason, you have picked up a fight with me. There are three reasons for enmity: Bhumi, Hiranyam, and Rupam. So, Hennu, Honnu, Mannu, as they popularly say in Kannada as well. So the word Rupa is the reference for the word Hennu. Honnu is the reference for Hiranyam, and Mannu is the reference for Bhumi. So either earth or land, basically, land or wealth or lady. It could be other gender as well. It need not only be the female gender. So none of these common reasons existed between Rama and Vali. So Vali's argument is that since we do not have any conflict in any of these three reasons, there is no reason for you to pick up a fight with me. There is no reason for you to have any sort of enmity with me, but you did showcase your enmity with me and you interfered. And third one, and also, how did you interfere? You did not present yourself in front of me. You actually killed me, that you actually shot an arrow by hiding yourself behind something. So that's not like facing the enemy at all. If at all you have an enmity with me, you face one-on-one with me. Why do you want to hide and strike? Yeah. And then Indriya Hatva Banena Kakutstha, and you have killed me with this arrow. Mamiha Anaparadhinam, and I have not committed any crime. Okay, in your land, as the rule book says, according to Dharma Shastra, you cannot punish someone who hasn't committed a crime. What crime have I committed? Who are you to judge me? And why have you killed me without committing any crime against you? That's the argument. I have not committed any crime against you. He's not confessing that I have not committed any crime at all. Vali is saying, I have not committed any crime against you. Why have you killed me? Okay, Rajaha. And then he asked this question, Kim Bakshisi Satam Madhye Karma Kritva Jugupsitam. This is probably one of the finest points that Ramayana highlights. And we are also aware of that fact. But unfortunately, the modern day influencers have told us otherwise. They have told us that you don't have to worry about them. You know, I'm talking about those four people. Okay. The four people about whom our parents, our grandparents, our relatives have always reminded us. Char log kya kahenge? The end of the day, when anything comes to the decision making, and if you are going to take some ridiculous decision, this would be one of the common lines used in the arguments. When they present their case, this line definitely would be there. I mean, maybe not for the present day kids, because these day kids, Gen Alpha won't understand this. But the bygone generations like ours, we completely understand the context, intensity, and the impact of Charlo Kya Kahenge. And we have the similar versions, similar editions of Charlo Kya Kahenge in all Indian languages as well. ಜನ ಏನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ. So that's basically Kannada version of Charlo Kya Kahenge. So why is this idea presented? Interestingly, I forgot the name of the author, but it is an Italian author. I remember this much. An Italian author says, the author asks, she asks this question, the author asks this question, what holds culture together, or what holds a generation together, or a civilization? Imagine this. What holds an entire civilization together? So the answer for that question is gossip. Yeah, quite surprising, isn't it? Gossip holds the entire civilization together. Everybody enjoys a bit of gossip as long as they are not the subject of gossip, but they should be part of gossip. That's all. I mean, they want to partake in gossip, but they don't want to be the center of attraction in the gossip. And what usually gossip does is, we would have ridiculed someone. We all have done this. I mean, there is no need to say that hum dhoot ka dhule hain. No, none of us are dhoot ka dhula. Okay, so we all have a fair share of gossiping. So when we gossip about someone, eventually what it does to our brain is it sends a signal that, see, he has acted that ridiculously, or she or he has acted this ridiculously. I must not act this ridiculous in my life ever. If this is the sort of message that it sends, and if this message is received duly by us, then there is nothing wrong in it. The reason why there is nothing wrong in it is because it is sending us an education. It is educating us. It is it is actually guiding us in the path by saying that this is the path that you should not take. You should not act like Ravana. You should not act like Vali. Gossiping, right? So there is a plus point to that as well. There is a positive side for gossiping as well, as long as we get the message. The message of gossiping is that we should not become like that. It's an education. So similarly, in Ramayana, everywhere we find this particular idea that is presented. That imagine you commit yourself to such any kind of hideous things. You commit a crime, and after you have committed crime, eventually you have to face the people. This is what he says. Even Kaikeyi reminds the same thing to Dasharatha as well. What will you tell to the Parishad, to the people, when the learned ones meet and they have to determine who has an evaluation process? What kind of dharma have we followed so far? What kind of adharma has creeped in our lifestyle? And when you have to present yourself in front of such stalwarts, how will you be able to present yourself? This was the question asked by Kaikeyi as well to Dasharatha. The same question is raised by Vali to Rama when he asked that, Hatva banena kakuchstha mamiha anaparadhinam. You have actually killed me with an arrow who has not done anything wrong to you. And having done this hideous crime, kim vakshasi satam madhye karma kritva jugupsitam. After having done such kind of a disgusting job in your life, how will you face the people? How will you face the rishis? How will you be, how can you remain answerable or presentable to them? It is impossible for you to be presentable because you have to undergo a lot of process of shuddhikaranam. You won't have a face to show in front of people if you have committed a crime. Such was the era back then. This was the kind of notion that people had. Not so long ago, people used to feel this kind of guilt if they had committed some crime, if they had committed some error. They would have, and they usually call it as vinaya. They usually call it as acceptance, that they have that innate vinaya, innate humbleness and humility, that if they commit an error, they have the courage to come up and acknowledge, admit the fact that yes, I have committed an error. Can you please show me the path? Can you please guide me how to rectify myself? This used to be the scenario. This is the reason why in our country, we'll be surprised to know that there used to be dharma parishats. In almost in every grama, in every village, there used to be a dharma parishat. That dharma parishat also goes by the name panchayati. Okay, that's a very popular word in Karnataka, isn't it? Every village has got a panchayati. Panchayati katte. Yen panchayati marayanindu. It means that you always you bring up some or the other case where you are involved and you want to prove yourself innocent, or you claim that you are innocent. Basically, the courtroom. And that system existed because uh, I might be the wrong person to judge myself, because every time I'll think that I'm right, I'm correct. So let the others decide whether I'm right or wrong. Another interesting point here, just to speak about the justice system, because we are talking about dharmagnya and how sukshma dharma is, we need to understand. That's why I'm presenting Vali's case so strongly that you might feel that Vali has got a fair point. I'm not the lawyer on the Vali's side, and I'm definitely for the defense of Rama. But again, if you present the case of Vali properly, then you will know how subtle dharma is, how difficult it is to understand dharma. Another important scenario is there is an episode that occurs in Srimad Bhagavatam. Balarama would be attending. He visits a satra. A long edition of yaga was going on, and he enters it. Some rishi was sitting there in the Brahmasthanam. Brahmasthanam in the sense there will be a position called Brahma in the yagam. Usually on the right side of the Agni Kundam, there will be a position called as Brahma. And they are not supposed to stand up when the yaga is going on. Throughout the session, they are not supposed to stand up. They are not supposed to walk. And when Balarama entered, everybody else stood up, except for that person. Balarama got very angry. He thought that how dare you disrespect me, that you have grown so big, you have grown so tall that now you have forgotten the basic etiquette. You have no courtesy to stand up when Balarama has entered. And without asking any further questions, he chopped his head off with his axe. Finished. And then all the rishis present there, they said, what did you do? What kind of impulsive action was this? We had given him the position of Brahma, and you just destroyed our Brahma. How will we complete the yagam? And he felt very sorry. He felt very bad. And because the Parishat was already there, the members of Panchayati were already present there. So he presented himself and he admitted. Acknowledgement of error is the first step for cleansing. Okay. And he admitted. Balarama admitted, and he said that, yes, this is what I have done. So can you suggest some remedy? What things should I do in order to get rid of this particular dosha that I have occurred on me? That's when the rishis suggested him a Tirtha Yatra. The entire Bharata Varsha's Tirtha Yatra was suggested for him, and he goes on with that Tirtha Yatra. The reason why I mentioned this episode is this Parishat, the Satpurushas, the assembly of Satpurushas is very important. When they all assemble, Bali asks Rama, how will you present in front of them? They have so high regard for you. And if they come to know what hideous thing, what disgusting thing you have done by interfering between two people's fight and killing someone without any reason for enmity, do you think they will respect you? They will have the same regard for you anymore? This is what he says. Kim Vakshasi, what will be your line of argument? How will you defend yourself? Okay. Rajaha, Brahmaha, Goghnaha, Choraf Pranivadherataha, Nastikaf Parivertacha, Sarve Nirayagamiraha. You know what kind of people go to hell, Rama? These kind of people. He gives a list. All these people go to hell. First one, Rajaha, he who kills a king. You, my dear friend, has killed me. I was the king of Kishkinda. You have killed me, Rajaha. And then Brahma, he who kills a Brahmajnani or a Brahmana, he goes to Naraka. Gognaha, he who kills the cow, the cattle, he goes to Naraka as well. Choraha, a thief. Pranivadherataha, those who are interested in killing animals for fun. Okay. Nastikaha, those who do not believe in the authenticity of Veda, they're called as Nastika. Okay. So they will also go to Naraka. Parivetta, Parivetta is those who know about these things but does nothing. They don't comment, they don't prompt them, nothing at all. So they, all these people, Niraya Gamina, they all go to Naraka. Suchakascha, Kadaryascha, Mitragno, Gurutalpagaha, Lokam Papatmanam Ete, Gachante, Natra Samshiha. He adds few more. He had forgotten about these four people. So he adds them, addendum. Suchakaha, the one who kind of bitches about others, one who gives the information, gives away the secrets of state. They are called as Suchakaha, Suchakascha. Kadaryascha, one who has a very bad behavior or bad reputation. And Mitraghna, those who kill their friends. And Guru Talpagaha, those who do not respect their Guru. Or Guru Talpagaha here refers to those who misbehave with their teacher's spouse. Okay. All of them, Niraya Gaminaha. Okay. And another important thing that you have done with this disgusting act, with this Jugupsitam thing, is Adharyam Charmame Sadbhihi. See, a person is supposed to render himself completely useful to the nature at all times. Now that you have killed me, I am a monkey. Basically, Vali is a monkey. So after killing me, do you think anybody is going to touch me after I am killed? Nobody is going to touch monkey because Adhar charmame sadhi, the monkey's skin is not used for anything, for any purposes. Okay. And then Romani asthita varjitam, not even the bones, not even the romas, not even the hair of monkey or the bones, none of them is used. And I don't tell this to Chinese, but apart from Chinese, I have to talk about this. Abhakshani cha mamsani, because of this fact. And the monkey meat is also not consumed at all. It is prohibited. To consume monkey's meat is prohibited. Twadvidhair dharmacharibhihi. And it is not by anybody else, but people like you who follow dharma usually don't wear anything made out of monkey's skin. They don't wear anything made out of monkey's hair. They don't consume monkey's meat. They don't use monkey's bones. So why did you kill me? You might tell me that no, you are traveling across the forest and now you are in need of some good covering for yourself. Therefore, you killed me because Vali was that huge. So it would have covered both Rama and Lakshmana sufficiently. But people who are dharmikas, people who follow dharma, they don't usually take up any of these things. And why did you kill them? Why did you kill me? One last thing. He substantiates his argument by saying that there are only 5 types of meat that are consumed by people who follow dharma. Very interesting. What are those 5 animals? Pancha panchanakha bhaksyaha. 5 animals which have 5 nails. Okay. Pancha panchanakha bhaksyaha. They are edible. They are consumable. They can be consumed. The meat of these 5 animals can be consumed. Who are they? By whom? Brahma, Kshatriya, and Raghava. Both by Brahmanas as well as Kshatriyas back in those days, not in the Kali Yuga. Okay. So Brahma, Kshatriya, by both Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. And of course, if they are eligible, then of course the rest of the world is also eligible to consume the meat of these 5 animals which have 5 nails. Which are they? Yeah. If there are anybody who are meat lovers or meat eaters, here you go. You can have a field day with this Shalyakaha. Shalyakaha is a special type of fish which has got some sort of thorns in it, and it should be 5 in number. So that is called a Shalyakaha. Shvavidhaha. Shvavidhaha is a type of dog. Hyena kind of dog. It belongs to the dog community. So Shvavidhaha. And Godha. Godha is usually called as Uda in Kannada. And a big lizard that can climb up on the walls and it's very difficult to pull them apart. They're very strong. They hold the walls very strongly. Their grip is very strong. That can be consumed. And then shashaha, rabbits, hares, they can be consumed. And kurmaha, tortoise. So these are the five animals whose meat can be consumed by people. Charma cha asti cha me rama nasprishanti manishinaha. Nobody touches the meat or the bones or even the skin or the hair of monkey. Abhakshani cha mamsani. And even my meat is not consumable for them, is not edible for them. And then soham panchanakho hataha. And like this, you have killed me without any purpose. He's just substantiating his argument. You have killed me without any proper reason. Answer this, Rama. Why did you kill me? Just to help your friend? Now he picks up that point. See, I think I should have listened to my wife. This one time I did not listen to my wife, and this happened to me. Okay. Taraya vakya mukto ham. And she is sarvagnyaya. She knew everything, and she advised me not to get into this fight. But I ignored her advices, and look what has happened to me. Okay. I don't think Tvaya Nathena Kakutstha Nasanatha Vasundhara. I don't think the world deserves a person like you. You are a disgrace to this world. This is the height of argument, height of abuse, verbal abuse, that or offense, the offensive language that Vali is using for Rama. I have to mind all these things. Then he goes to his father as well. Bappe Majjana. Right. That's usually the argument. People will be okay until the argument gets to Tande Tai, Baap, Ma Behan in Hindi. Okay. He goes, see, Pramadashila Sampurna, Patyevacha Vidharmana, Shato Naikritiha, Kshudraha, Mithya Prashritamanasa, Katham Dasharathen Tunjatav Papo Mahatmana. I have heard so many great things about Dasharatha, your father. Okay. And how is it possible for such a papishtha like you to be born from Dasharatha? Okay. So, in other words, whom is he actually condemning? He's condemning that you're not born to your father. You're born to somebody else because your father was not like this. Your father was a dharmika. And look at you committing adharma in broad daylight. The lengths to which Vali has accused Rama, one cannot even imagine. And I'm putting all those imaginations because you will feel that all these arguments that Vali is presenting are baseless, absolutely baseless. You see that. And then, Sugriva Priyakamena Yadaham Nihatastvaya. One last opposition that you may say that, see, all of this I did because I wanted to help my friend. Sugriva is my friend, and therefore I wanted to stand by my friend, and I did this. Let me tell you one thing. Mameva yadi purvam tvam etadartham achodayah. If you had only approached me before, then Maithili maham ekanha tavachani tavan bhave. I would have brought Sita back to you in a day. In a day means not day and night. In 12 hours before the sun sets, I would have brought Sita back to you. Okay. Rakshasancha Durat, not only Sita, I would have brought Ravana to justice as well. Ravanancha, the Rakshasancha Duratmanam, Tava Bharyapaharinam, Kanthe Badhva Pradadyam Te, Anihatam Ravanam Rane. Without killing Ravana, without hurting Ravana, I would have imprisoned him and I would have presented him to you like a Bali Pashu, like how we offer Bali Pashu, how we take the Pashu, how we take the cattle to the butchers. Similarly, I would have brought Ravana to you like how we bring a lamb to a butcher. If only you had approached me before you approached, you chose the wrong brother, my brother, is what Vali is saying. You chose the wrong brother. You could have chosen me. You should have chosen me. This would have ended very soon. Nyastam Sagaratoyeva, whether Sita was kept in the depths, under the depths of oceans, Patale Vapi Maithiling, somewhere hidden in the Patala, Anayayam Tavadeshat, Shvetam Ashpatarimiva. I would have brought her by any chance. There is no way I would have failed in that job. Yuktam yat prapnuyad rajyam sugriva swargate mayi. See, I do understand that it is fair enough that Sugriva should get the kingdom after finally I pass away. But Ayuktam, this part I agree that Sugriva deserved the Rajya after my demise. That part I agree. But what I do not agree is Ayuktam yad adharmena tvayaham nihatorne. And you have killed me with adharma. And here he uses the word adharma very clearly by claiming that whatever Rama's actions were, they were purely of adharma. Ityeva muktva parishushka vaktraha. This brings the conclusion of Vali's argument. And over past two sessions, we have heard Vali's arguments. Now is the time for Rama's defense. Now the prosecution rests. The defense begins. Now you hear each and every word very carefully and relate, and how it is an answer for every single point that Vali raised. And why exactly have I taken this particular episode to highlight the importance or significance of dharmagnya? To know dharma is to put ourselves in such scenarios, to put ourselves in such places, such instances, such cases, such time, such testing times, and still come out with flying colors. See, when my guru used to say this, when nobody is watching, everybody is a saint. When nobody is watching, everybody is a saint. If you want to find a thief, you have to put them when nobody is watching. That's when you get to know whether they are a thief or not. Because when everybody is present, in the presence of everyone, in the world, in the midst of people, everybody is a saint. It's only in behind the closed doors that we get to know what kind of a man, what kind of a person a fellow is. In discretion, in silence, is when we get to know the truth. When we attend meetings or when we attend classes, when we attend programs, we present ourselves to be the greatest kalopasaka. We are the upasakas of kala. There's nobody better than us who does this upasana of kala. 1 month, don't give them any program, then you will see how much of kalopasana exists in you. If you take away the name, if you take away the fame, if you take away the spotlight, if you take away the attention, if you take away all the likes and comments on social media, and when the spotlight is turned off, that's when we truly get to know how much we are dedicated to our vidya, how much we are dedicated to our kala. And this is the reason why we need to hear these arguments. The argument that happened between Rama and Vali, why this is important is to know dharma is to ensure that even at testing times, we don't leave dharma. Our understanding of dharma is very, very crooked, to say the least. Sometimes it is okay to say a lie, to tell a lie. It is okay. This is how we were trained. This is how we were taught, unfortunately, isn't it? Or we have modified our understanding of truthfulness like this. It's okay to lie once in a while if it is for a better cause. How many of us have not come across this argument, honestly speaking? Touch your heart and tell me that you have not come across this argument, or you yourself have not used this argument to defend yourself after having lied. Yes, I did lie, but I did for a greater purpose. I did for a better, for the betterment of the world. Nonsense, absolute rubbish. If you lie, finish, end of the story. It is just, your good karma that it turned out to be well. That's all. It's not only because of your lying that things turned out to be well. And every time we say this, there will be a counter argument. Krishna lied, or Krishna insisted that people lie, all these things. One should not equate with janma karma cha me divyam evanyo veti tattvataha. He said that both his janma, his avatara, as well as his karma, his activities are divyam, are divine. So By the very word divyam, by the very definition of word divyam, it means that it is beyond our reach. Atmanam manusham manye. I'm just showing you the contrast. And क्यों लोगों की फटती है, sorry for the language, but why people are afraid of following Rama and why they want to follow Krishna, because it helps them in some of the unique cases. Krishna is the Paratattvam. He is the avatar. He is the Purna avatara. And we are not in that state. We never are in that state. But again, we claim that if Krishna does it, then how come I cannot do it? There are songs about it, isn't it? Bollywood songs. And we have danced to those tunes as well. So good of us, isn't it? Without knowing the meaning of those lyrics. I know the lyrics, but I don't want to say those lyrics. Why would I want to dirty my mouth by saying those lyrics? Such is the level of ridiculousness that we have. That we have the audacity to compare ourselves with Krishna, and who himself has given this proclamation saying that Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. And people consider me, or those who consider me as just a human being, they are moodhaha. They are deluded. They have no idea what I am. These are the exact words of Krishna, and we still want to equate ourselves with him. And here is a man, every single moment, whenever someone encountered with him, or whenever there was a conversation with Rama, everybody felt the divinity in him, and they all said that you are a divine person. He said, no, I don't know about all these things. You people say something. Atmanam manusham manye Ramam Dasharathatmajam. This is the standard statement made by Rama throughout Ramayana. He maintains that I consider myself to be a mere human being, the son of Dasharatha. That's all. You see, this person walked the talk. He showed how to live dharma. So when we talk about dharma, we definitely have to look at a practical example rather than trying to understand the subtleties that exist in Krishna. Krishna is filled with Krishna's character. Krishna Charitam is filled with subtleties, the nuances of dharma, which are very difficult to identify and then understand or comprehend and then practice. So 3 levels should be there. No, first and foremost, we won't be even able to identify that dharma in Krishna's Charitam. And then we have to comprehend that perfectly. And then we have to act like that. It's beyond our capacity. So as long as we have to maintain that capacity, whatever our capacity is, we have to follow that one. According to our capacity, the best thing that we can do is follow the Ramacharitam. Walk the path that Rama walked. And this is the sort of case that he found himself in, wrongly accused by Vali. Now we continue. Exactly have another 45 minutes on the clock. And here begins the defense of Rama. It may seem to people that defense of Rama got over very quickly. Defense is very simple always. Defense is not at all complicated. You just have to, because the fundamental thing of defense is that they would be acting that. They would live that, they would breathe it. This is what usually they say in football as well. You know? The strikers might get you goals, okay? But they are not the ones who embody the culture of that club. You know who embodies the culture of that club? The defenders. Most of the times you will find the legends of a club to be the defenders. Because they know what the club is all about. They know the culture, they know the people. So they are deeply rooted in what they are. That's why they are defense. Okay. Similarly, when we talk about Rama's defense, it is not Rama's defense, it is Dharma's defense. Now, someone has raised their question on Dharma. Now, Dharma has to defend itself. Dharma has to showcase that what Rama did was correct. It is Dharma. It's not forcefully proving it. But it's just understanding that if you are approaching in this manner, let me hold a mirror and let me allow you to see or to show you what you truly are. That's what Dharma does, and that's exactly what Rama is going to do. Ityuktah prashritam vakyam dharmartha sahitam hitam parusham valina ramo nihatena vichetasa. Parusham, so wrongly accused by him. Then he says, Paschad valinam abravit. See, first shloka. Dharmam arthancha kamancha samayanchapi laukikam avijnaya katham balyat mamihadya vigarhase. Vali, how can you accuse me? How can you, send such kind of accusations on me? Avijnaya, without having proper knowledge of dharma, artha, kama, and samaya, time, circumstances. With all your arguments, Your Honor, or my dear jury members, this is what Rama says. That what I feel is the person who is accusing me, Vali, Mr. Vali, does not have any idea about dharma, artha, kama, and samaya. 4 elements that Vali has forgotten. He has no clue whatsoever about it. Aprishtva buddhi sampannane. And not only that, it also highlights that his lack of homework. Okay. Usually lawyers, advocates, they accuse their opposing counsel, saying that they have not done the homework properly. You have not seen the details of the case correctly. So that's a phrase. So similarly, Aprishtva buddhi sampannan, he has not referred or he has not gone to people who are well versed with dharma. He has not discussed with them. He has not debated with them. He has not understood things from them. Vriddhan acharya sammatam. And they should be vriddha, jnana vriddhas. And acharya sammatam, they should be trusted acharyas. It seems like, Vali, you have not approached any of them. Okay. Saumya, and he still has the courtesy. Rama still has the courtesy to call Vali as Saumya. Ayyo Pavam. Okay. He calls him like that. Saumya, Vanara Chapalya. You're speaking only because of this Chapalyam that you have, that innate Chapalyam that you have. Because of this Vanara Yoni, Vanara Chapalya, Twammam Vaktum Ihechasi. And you wish to speak to me like this only out of Chapalyam. That's all. You're only tempted to speak against me. You actually have not given a thought about it. You have randomly brought across or put across all these arguments. You haven't given a thought about it. If you had done the due diligence to your own arguments, you would not have spoken a single word. That is Rama's. This is how you begin the defense. You have not done the homework properly. And if you had given even tiny bit of attention to the words that you have spoken, you would not have spoken any of these words. I want you to remember that famous dialogue that became a meme later on and which broke the internet. Amit Shah says, "Kya baat kar rahe hain? Hum jaan de denge." Kind of meme. And if you are aware of that, if you have come across that kind of meme, imagine that tone. And Rama says this. Have you forgotten, Vali? Ikshvakunam yam bhumihi sashailavana kanana. This entire region belongs to Ikshvakus. We are the Chakravartis. Do I need to remind you that? You said that I have not committed any crime against you. Mr. Vali, you have committed a crime in our land. This land belongs to us. Ikshvagunam, he's not saying that it belongs to me. He's saying that it belongs to our family. Ikshvagunam iyam bhumihi sashailavanakanana mrigapakshi manushyanam nigrahanugraheshvapi. And we have the complete authority of both nigraha and anugraha on every creature present in this region. Whether they are mrigas, pakshis, or manushyas, it doesn't matter. Whether they are animals, birds, or human beings, it doesn't matter. On all these creatures, we have the utmost authority. Topmost authority lies with us. Nigraha and anugraha. Nigraha is control. Anugraha is a blessing. So all these things exist with us. We have the complete control with us. And tam palayati dharmatma. And who is actually ruling now? Tam palayati dharmatma, tam sampurnam bhumim. All that bhumi is now, all that land is being ruled by a dharmatma named Bharatas Satyavan Rujuhu. A straightforward, always speaking truth or truthful and straightforward Bharata rules this bhumi. Dharma Kama Artha Tattvajnaha. And he knows what is dharma, what is artha, and what is kama. The Trivarga, he knows the Trivarga absolutely correctly. Do you need any, if you ever need any sort of certification about anything, okay, so this is the sort of certification that you would actually require. If you want a certificate in dharma, then you seek that certification of dharma from the likes of Rama. If there is any one person who got this certification from Rama on dharma, who was he? Bharata. Bharata has got this certification where he says that Tam palayati dharmatma, Bharata satyavan rujuhu, dharma kamartha tattvajnaha, dharmajnaha, arthajnaha, and kamajnaha, and not only that, dharma tattvajnaha, artha tattvajnaha, and kama tattvajnaha. He who knows the dharma tattva, artha tattva, and kama tattva. Okay, that is the level of respect that Rama placed on Bharata. Nayascha vinayashchobhau yasmin satyancha susthitam vikramascha yatha drishta saraja deshakalaviti. So which kind of Raja or what type of king is usually considered as a proper king who understands the time? And there is a beautiful debate presented in Mahabharata where they ask this question that Rajnyo va karanam kalaha, Raja va kala karanam, itite samshayo mabhut. Let there be no doubt in your mind whether time causes the king or time influences the king or king influences the time. The answer is Raja kalasya karanam. It is the king who influences the time. So what kind of king influences time and what should be there in that king? Four important elements should be there in a proper king. There should be Naya, there should be Vinaya, there should be Satya, and Vikram. Four things, very simple things. There should be Naya. Naya means the proper understanding of Rajaniti, Rajadharma, that is called as Naya. Vinaya is the ability to execute that Rajadharma. One might be well read, well learned, well versed in Rajadharma, but very poor in execution. They don't know how to execute it at all. So that is not going to work. And then Satyam, they should be truthful. So if they are going to make such bold statements about kings, like, the kind of statements that Vali made, all those statements meant like someone who would say all these things just for the sake of argument, just to ensure that you accuse them and you unko neecha dikha do, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬರೋಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. Only for that purpose Vali spoke those words. He did not held a mirror to himself. So if he had only evaluated himself, that's why Rama said that these words would not have been spoken by you if you had consulted your acharyas, if you had gone to them, if you had listened to your advisors. I don't think you would be speaking these words at all. And then Vikrama, courage. So these four things, Naya, Vinaya, Satya, Vikrama, four things makes a king the cause for time. And we are all Dharmakrita Deshaha. We are all the people, we are all followers of Bharata. And Bharata has given us this complete authority that wherever there is adharma, you punish adharma. Okay. So the point that you mentioned that we have no common ground for enmity. Yes, you're right. We don't have a common territory. We don't have a conflict with territory. It's not like Karnataka Maharashtra border. It's not like Karnataka Kerala. It's not like Karnataka Andhra. Okay. We are not in any sort of battle with some piece of land. You are in our land. Okay. So it's like this land belongs to us basically, and you have forgotten that. And I'm here to remind you that Charamo Vasudham Kritsnam Dharma Santanam Ichchavaha, and we follow that dharma wherever we go. It's not like we follow that dharma only in our capital city, Ayodhya. Elsewhere, we are adharmikas, like how people are. Oh, that brings me to this very interesting observation that I have made. See, people become very hyper when they are in a different city. Just walk through Indiranagar, Kormangala, MG Road. You know, those people who are born and brought up in those areas, who have spent their childhood there, they won't do certain things that other people usually do in those roads. Tell me if I'm wrong. Because deep down, if you were raised in 80s, 90s, okay, then you would have this idea that, as I said, ಚಾರ್ ಲೋಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾ ಕಹೆಂಗೆ, ನೋಡಿದವ್ರು ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆ ಅಂಕಲ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು, ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಮನೆ ಆಂಟಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು. These are very common things, isn't it? And they would not only see you, they would not only judge you there, but they would also pass the judgment to your respective parents. And they would take your class. Like, I got to know, ನಿನ್ನೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ಯಂತೆ, ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ವಿಷಯ. Common things. We have been raised like this, isn't it? So we are aware of these things. And that kept an entire generation intact. It kept us disciplined. It kept us on our toes. And the same as when we move out from that comfort, we ensure we take a look, a quick 360-degree survey. I know nobody here. I can do whatever I want. That's it. That's exactly the reason why he says that charamo vasudham kritsnam dharma santanam ichava. It's not like we follow dharma only. We are pure Romans when we are in Rome. And when we are roaming elsewhere from Rome, we are not Romans. That's not the theory. That's not how Ramarajya works. That's not how dharma works. Wherever we are, we follow that dharma. And you are actually in our land, and we have to follow dharma. And what do we do? Tevayam marga vibhrashtam swadharme parame sthitaha bharatagnyam puraskritya nigrinhimo yatha vidhi. And he asked this question, tasmin nripati shahardule bharate dharmavatsale. And when a king, a dharmavatsala king like Bharata is ruling, palayat yakhilam prithvim kaschare dharma vipriyam, who dares to act against dharma? I ask you this. Who dares to act against dharma when Bharata is the king? And with Bharata's agnya, Bharatagnyam puraskritya, te vayam marga vibhrashtam, those who have given up their marga, their swadharma and everything, those who have taken up adharma, what do we do to them? Swadharme parame sthitaha nigrinhimaha. We are going to take them, we are going to teach them a lesson. And that's exactly what has happened here as well. Tvantu. Now comes the response, a direct response. वाली महाशय, आप दूध के धुले थोड़ी है, आप नहीं है। आपका तो स्वभाव ऐसा है कि आपका जो महामहिमान्वित जो चरित्र है वो इस प्रकार है। आप थोड़ा ध्यान देकर सुनिएगा। त्वन्तु संक्लिष्ट धर्मश्च कर्मणा च विगर्हितः कामतंत्र प्रधानश्च न स्थितो राजवर्त्मनि. You are driven by desires. You are a slave of your desires. Sanklishta dharmascha, and you have wrong understanding of dharma, and karmana cha vigarhita, and you have done some actions. Some of your actions, most of your actions are not even supposed to be told. You have done such kind of things that are not supposed to be even spoken about. Okay. What are those things that Vali has done? Remember this. Jeshtho Bhrata, elder brother, Pita, the biological father, Yascha Vidyam Prechati, he who gives you Vidya, Guru. Okay. Trayaste Pitaro Jneyaha. These three are considered as Pitrus. These three are considered as fathers. Okay. Three people, Jeshtha Bhrata, elder brother, biological father, Pita, and third one, Yascha Vidyam Prechati. These three are considered as Pita. They are Pitratulya. They are samana to father. They are equivalent to a father. And then Yaviyan, the Anuja, the younger brother, Atmanaf Putraha, my own biological son. And then Shishyaschapi Gunoditaha, a Shishya, a disciple. These three, Putravatte Trayaschintyaha, these three should be always treated like son, like Putra. So there are three people who occupy the status of Pita. There are three people who occupy the status of Putra. So there always will remain this Pita Putra Bhava Sambandha between them. The Sambandha of a Guru and Shishya. No, forget about the gender here, okay? It is gender neutral term. So the relationship with Guru and Shishya is no less than the relationship between a father and son, a relationship between a mother and daughter, relationship between a father and daughter, relationship between a mother and son. That's how pure it is. The same relationship should exist. The same kind of relationship should exist between the elder brother and the younger brother. What are you to Sugriva? Elder brother. So automatically, you are like a father figure to him. And you should have treated Sugriva like your own son. Did you treat Sugriva like your own son? Then comes the commanding punch. This is the line that I wanted to highlight. This is the shloka. The next shloka that I'm going to say is the shloka that puts Rama firmly as the dharmagnya. He says, Sukshma paramadurgneyo satan dharma plavangama. Plavangama. He called him as tree hopper. That's the literal translation of the word plavangama. Okay. You are a plavangama. You are a tree hopper. You hop from branch to branch. Okay. You are a monkey, basically. That's what he means to say. In a very sophisticated way, he called him plavangama. Plavanam kritva gacchati iti plavangama. So he moves by hopping from one place to another place. So that is indicating that you have no firm ground. You do not have a firm footing anywhere. In the matters of dharma, you do not have that firm footing because it is your very nature to jump from one place to another place. Such is your nature. Okay. Plavangama, the dharma that you are talking about, the dharma that we all are discussing about, that is Sukshmaha and Paramadurgneyaha. It is very subtle, very Sukshma and Paramadurgneyaha. Gneyaha means comprehensible, which can be understood. Durgneyaha means non-comprehensible. Paramadurgneyaha means impossible to understand. Okay. And where is this dharma? Okay. This is the question. This is exactly why I said that why Rama is a dharmagnya and why this particular incident or why particular this episode puts this notion of dharmagnya beyond any doubt to us is because of the next line. Hridistha sarvabhutanam atma veda shubhashbham. This dharma is that atma, and this is the atma that knows shubhashbham. The wrong and the right is known by atma, and that is hridistha, that is within sarvabhutanam hridistha. And this atma that is existing, the Iswara, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati, Bhagavad Gita. He mentions that Ishvara exists in the Hridaya Desha of all creatures. Hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. So the same Ishvara is referred here by the word Atma. Sarvabhutanam Atma Hridisthaha. Sarvabhutanam Atma Shubha Shubham Veda. Only Atma knows Dharma. Nobody else knows Dharma. Are you an Atmavan? Because you are a Plavangama. How would you know the Sukshmatvam? How would you know the subtleties, the nuances, the intricacies of Dharma? You wouldn't know the intricacies of Dharma. So please don't give me a lecture on Dharma. Okay. Chapalas chapalai sardham. He mentions that you yourself are a chapala. Okay. And chapalai sardham. And your associates are also like that, similar to you. Yeah. Common traits make friends. That's how we all forged friendships. First day of high school, you like basketball, I like basketball. Best friends forever. Generally, this is how friendships happen. so chapalas chapalai sardham vanarai rakritatmabhihi. You associate yourself with those people. You yourself are a loose cannon, and you have associated yourself with them. Jatyandhaiva jatyandhaihi mantrayan prekshasenokim. And you are a jatyantha, born blind. And you have surrounded yourself by people who are blind. Okay. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬೋಣ. ನನಗೂ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನಗೂ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Let us be together in a samstha. Let us build something together. I also don't know anything. You also don't know anything. Okay. My teacher used to remind us this particular shloka. Two people were there. Okay. Ubhavapya Shruta Granthau. Both of them had not read a single work. They had no clue whatsoever about what was going on. Okay. Ubhavapya Shruta Granthau. Neither one of them were well read. Ubhavapi Jadatmakau. Both were very lazy, lethargic. Ubhavapya Shruta Granthau. Ubhavapi Jadatmakau. Aho Kalasya Mahatmyam. Look at what can I say about the glory of time, the glory of Kali Yuga, that Tatraika Shishyatangataha. Between them, one became a Shishya, another one became Guru. You sit there, I'll sit here. You listen, I speak. You call me Guru, I call you Shishya. This is how Kali Yuga works. Okay. Neither one of them knows anything. Both of them are equally bad. Tatraika Shishyatangata. Unfortunately, one happens to be Shishya there. That's all. This was the case. And this is exactly what he is highlighting Rama to Vali. That Jatyandhai Vajatyandhai. You have associated, you yourself are born blind. You have no idea what dharma is. And you have associated yourself with people who have no clue about dharma either. So, Prekshase and if you keep on mantrayan, if you keep on discussing with them, if you keep interacting with them, how will you ever be able to look at dharma, you tell me? So basically, you have no idea about dharma. That's why you speak so much of nonsense, so much of rubbish that you spoke. Because dharma is sukshma, dharma is paramadrugneya. Never forget that. People will say that this is dharma, this is not dharma. What do you know about dharma? Remember the statement made by Rama. Sukshma paramadrugneya, satan dharma plavangama, pradisthas sarva bhutanam atma veda shubhashubham. If you truly want to understand dharma, then you need to understand atma. As simple as that. Because only atma knows what is dharma and what is adharma, what is shubha and what is ashubha, what is punya and what is papa. All right. Then Tadetat karanam pashya yadartham tvam maya hatah. Now, I'll give you the reason as well. The court requires, the jury needs to hear the reasons, no, why I did kill you. First and foremost, Bhraturvartasi bharyayam tyaktva dharmam sanathanam. You, Vali, you have misbehaved. You have forced yourself upon Bhratuhu bharyayam. Bhrata means brother. Bharya is wife. Bhratuhu bharya means brother's wife. You have forced yourself upon your brother's wife. Do you think that is dharma? Do you think that is an acceptable as dharma? In any time, at any given point of time. See, this is exactly how people forget about dharma. Even the sympathizers of Karna, they forget. Okay. Staunch feminists they are, sympathizers of Karna. And you raise this topic. Did cat catch the tongue of Karna when Draupadi's Vastraparana happened? Where was Karna? What was he doing? And you don't want to highlight that part because he's Dana, Veera, Shura. What Danam has he done? How is he Veera? How is he Shura? I don't understand at all. Mahabharata doesn't give such kind of a picture. And it is only the sympathy, the wrong sympathy that we have got in our hearts for Karna. It has made him such a popular figure. And some people get offended. How dare you talk about Karna? You haven't walked a mile in his shoes. I don't want to. दूर दूर तक नहीं चाहिए भाई हमें. कर्ण का दुर्गंध भी हमें नहीं चाहिए. सुगंध तो छोड़ो. उसके शूज में पैर रख के चलने का छोड़ दो. उनकी परछाई तक हमको नहीं चाहिए. We want to stay away from even the shadow of Karna. That was the filth that character was. Similarly here as well. What great, when you heard the arguments of Vali, how must one feel? One must have definitely felt that Vali is right. Rama should not have interfered. Rama should not have killed him. There was a better way to do it. Diplomacy. Maybe he could have had a dialogue with him. So many ideas will come for all the liberal minds. Okay. The answer is Bhrataru Vartasi Bharyayam Tyaktva Dharmam Sanatanam. We have forgotten what Sanatana Dharma is. Sanatana Dharma prohibits you from forcing yourself on any woman who does not belong to you, on any other woman who is taken by other man. She is somebody else's wife. How can you force yourself upon her? And not just somebody else's wife, it is your own brother's wife. You should have treated her like a daughter. And you forced yourself upon your daughter? And you call yourself a king? Ah, well done. Okay. Rumayam asyitvam dharamanasya sugrivasya mahatmanaha rumayam vartase kamat snushayam papakarma kriti. You are involved with her. That is wrong. Okay. And for this, nahi lokaviruddhasya lokavruttad apeyushaha dandadanyatra pashyami nigraham hariyuthapa. There are various ways of nigraha. There are various ways of punishing. And for this particular crime, I don't see any other crime apart from danda. Okay, danda is killing them. You have to kill them. You can't present a rapist to a trial. And this sort of idea is not present in any other works that these liberals shout. No, it is not there. That's what dharma says. You weigh the dharma. You see what sort of adharma is it? To force yourself upon any woman without the consent is wrong, is adharma at all times. It's not just in one era or some other era. There will be few discounts. No, not today, maybe some other day it is okay. In some era it was okay. No, at any given point of time it is adharma. And for such kind of adharma, there is only one punishment, vadha. That's what he mentions. Dandadanyatra pashyami nigraham hariyuthapa. And then nachate marshaye papam kshatriyoham kulodgataha. And I'm not just anybody, because I am kshatriya by nature. This is my nature. See how beautifully Kshatriya's nature has been highlighted here by Rama. It says that it is my natural instinct to not be okay with such kind of behavior. That's what he says here. How many Kshatriyas do we have left in the world today? Keyboard Kshatriyas. Yes. Plenty. Plenty. Oratory Kshatriyas, even more. Okay. Idu madbidabeku, adu madbidabeku, stringent law barabeku. We have set up a committee, fast tracking the case. Oratory Kshatriyas, real Kshatriya. Will any real Kshatriya stand up? Because the true nature of Kshatriya is, he says, nachate marshaye papam. I'm not going to, not observe it. And I can't ignore it. I'm not going to ignore it at all, because I can't ignore it. Why? Kshatriyoham, because I am a Kshatriya. Kshatat kila trayate iti Kshatriya. Why is he called as Kshatriya? Because he has the ability to protect dharma from getting hurt. Not just one's dharma, Sanatana dharma as a whole, wherever it is, whenever there is a hurt, there is harm going on for dharma, a Kshatriya will preserve it, or Kshatriya will protect it. That's why he's called as Kshatriya. Okay, right? Aurasim bhaginim vapi. Remember this shloka. Okay, remember this shloka. Aurasim bhaginim vapi. Aurasi bhagini means sibling, a sister. Okay, Aurasi bhagini. Aurasim bhaginim vapi. Bharyam vapyanujasya yaha, or brother's wife. Prachareta narah kamat. And if anybody forces themselves out of lust, okay, tasya dandaha, the punishment for that person is vadha smritaha, vadha. He has to be killed. That's all. Finished. Full stop. And then he mentions one more reason. Tadebhi karani sarvehi mahadbhir dharma samshritehi shasanam tavayadyuktam tad bhavan anumanyatam. So this is the reason why you have been punished. First and foremost, you are in our land and you have committed an adharma. And in our land, we don't take this sort of adharma lightly, because this is the nirnaya, this is the precedent that has been set in our kingdom, that he who forces himself on a sister or brother's wife, deserves the punishment as death. Death is the punishment. Okay. Then Rajabhirdhritadandascha kritva papani manavaha nirmala swargamayanti. Now remember this, even those who have committed such grave sins, if they are given the right punishment by the king, okay, if the right danda is given by the king following dharma, if the right punishment is given, then nirmalaha, they will be free of their sin. The punishment is designed not to set an example. The punishment is not given out of rage, out of impulse. It should be given with the sole idea of cleansing that person. Okay. The sin that is associated with that person should be completely cleaned. For that purpose, the punishment is given. Okay. And then one more reason, you said that I killed you hiding behind a tree and I did not face you one on one, right? Rajano Vanara Shrestha Pradataro na samshayaha tanna himsyat na chakroshet na akshipet na apriyam vadet. And do not forget, Vali, that the kings usually are pradatara. They are the ones who grant everything. And you don't speak ill of them, you don't abuse them, you don't accuse them, you don't go against them. And you have done all these things. And tvantu dharma avijnaya. And you, without knowing dharma, you accuse me of all the wrong things. And one more thing. Name tatra manastapaha. And I don't, yeah, it is right that I don't have any enmity with you, direct enmity with you. Even then, because of that one adharma that you did, and look at the way women were treated, women were respected in Rama's period. And one should not forget what kind of respect Rama had for women. People will try and tell you otherwise. They want to tarnish the image of Rama by quoting or misquoting, half quoting, underquoting, raw quoting some incidents. And that will create confusion in our mind that yes, Rama was an anti-feminist. You know? He was anti-women. That's why he sent his wife away. That's one incident that people will always keep telling us, that he is not a good husband. Okay. We will discuss that later. I'm saying okay, not because that is right. I'm saying okay because we are going to pick this up later. But as of now, when it comes to dharma, every single time, in every single circumstances, this is how Rama has acted. He has put that position very clearly. He has made it very clear, abundantly clear. And he mentions that you are an animal, both by birth, now by your action as well. He who rapes a woman is an animal, and animals are not killed. So next time when someone says that Vali was killed, I want you to correct them. Vali was not killed by Rama. Vali was hunted by Rama, because you don't kill animals, you hunt them down. Okay. Rules of killing are different. Rules of hunting are different, isn't it? How do you hunt animals? So if you are going on hunting, you want to hunt a man-eating tiger in the dense forest. Would you stand in front of the tiger and then challenge the tiger, oh tiger, now I am going to capture you and kill you? Will you have a dialogue with that with that man-eating tiger? What sort of logic is that? And people have always used many methods to kill, to hunt down animals. I said, I did the same thing. You are an animal. So basically, I can hunt you down for the crime that you have committed. And it is also the jawabdari, or the responsibility of the king, of a kshatriya, to maintain that balance in nature. When the animals get too wild, it is the responsibility of the king to ensure that these wild animals are tamed. That's why kings used to go on mrigaya. They used to go on hunting, not because for fun. It was not a sport. It was for dharma raksha. We forget the fact that there are many bordering villages. The villagers are at threat. Crops are at threat. The rishis who live in those forests are at threat. Many lives are at threat, and you know the ecological balance. How if a predator goes up the top of the chart, then how the entire ecological balance disturbs. So whose responsibility it is? It is the king's responsibility. Department of Ecology, they are supposed to take care of it. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Natural Resources and Department of Natural Resources, we don't have. They are supposed to take care of it, and they used to do that. So this was the logic that Rama gave. I hope that the arguments presented by Rama were sound enough. Oh, only one point he highlighted. That is sufficient. No? First and foremost, the point that he mentioned, that he was involved in another fight with somebody else and he interfered. How? Of course, that's how you hunt down an animal, when it is involved in some other activity. Whatever activity it is, it doesn't matter. You hunt down an animal. Vali was an animal. Why? Because he did not follow dharma. He was supposed to treat his brother Sugriva as his own son. He was supposed to treat and look after Sugriva's wife Ruma as his daughter, but he forced himself on her. And the punishment for that is death. That's why Vali was hunted down by Rama. Period. And after this, Eva Muktasturamena Vali Pravyathito Bhrisham. The moment Rama presented all these arguments, Vali was like, sharam se pani ho gaya, as they say in Hindi. And he was like pravyathita. He was disgusted by his own action. Then Valmiki gives that punching line. He concludes this entire incident with this line: Prativaktum prakrishtehi napakrishtastu shaknuyat. How long will we be able to talk about dharma? How long do you think we will be able to present our arguments on dharma, as long as the dharma doesn't speak for itself? When Rama speaks, it is dharma that speaks, because Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. Until then, the crow was cawing. Okay. The dog was barking. It was Vali who was barking about dharma. But when dharma spoke itself, when Rama himself spoke, that Rama is not different from dharma, isn't it? Rama Vigrahavan Dharma, he is dharma personified. That is why dharmajna. And when Rama spoke, what was the reaction of Vali? He admits it. He says that I completely agree with you. I was blinded by my own actions. I did not see this, and I acknowledge, I accept all my mistakes. There is only one request I have. This is what Vali says at the end of it. I don't care for Tara. I mean, what he means by he doesn't care for Tara is that it's not like he ignores her or anything. Nachatmanavaham shoche nataram napi bandhavan. Say, I'm not worried about myself. I'm not worried about Tara. I'm not worried about my relatives and all. I'm not even worried about the subjects of this kingdom. Yatha putram gunajyeshtham angadam kanakangadam. But I'm worried about my son. You should not judge my son by my sins. Okay. You are not supposed to judge him like that. Please do not judge Angada like this. He is going to be your greatest asset. And Angada, my God, he was one of the greatest assets in the great war that is coming up. And he proves his worth. He was a young boy. He was not even an adult yet. He was in that transforming age. And he proves his worth beyond doubt. That was Angada. And he mentions that Vali accepted that whatever you said is absolutely true. I accept this punishment. Tatrapi khalumamdo yadayuktam maya purvam pramadad vakyam apriyam. These are the words of Vali. He says that whatever words I spoke against you, you kindly forgive me for all those words, because I was wrong. Okay. Tumhi drishtartha tatvajnaha. Vali says that you are drishtartha tatvajnaha. Prajanancha hite rataha. Karyakarana siddhaucha prasanna buddhiravyaya. And you have that clarity. Okay. Therefore, you have to forgive me, and you have to forgive my son as well. And that's how the entire incident of Vali Vadham ends and concludes. The point that needs to be highlighted here is how Rama was dharmagnya. How come when we hear the story of Vali, or whenever we discuss about Vali, We never get this thought first, isn't it? Vali's crimes never come across or never appear in our mind until somebody reminds us of Rama's arguments. That, my dear friends, is a fundamental loophole that we have within our system. Within ourselves, we have that fundamental loophole. The loophole is very clear that we kind of turn a blind eye towards Vali's atrocities. And dharma actually gives us that 360-degree angle. It helps us to see the point. It helps us to witness what is right and what is wrong. It gives us the difference between what is right and what is wrong. To know what is right and what is wrong, not only for oneself, but also for the world, also for each and every individual. That is dharma. That knowledge is called as dharmagnya. And that knowledge exists in Rama. Therefore, he is a dharmagnya. And this episode that we just discussed puts it beyond our doubt that how Rama was a dharmagnya. And if we take a look at the mental state of Rama, this person had just lost his wife. His wife has been abducted. He has been crazily searching for her. He doesn't know her whereabouts. But did Rama use that as an excuse for his lack of awareness of dharma? All right. People usually forget this part. They don't consider this part at all. A person who is deeply in love with his wife has been snatched away by someone. He doesn't know where his wife is, and he's in search of his wife, and he comes across this Vanara, and he gives his word. He is helping him. He's not even aware of whatever the enmity is, but he judges him correctly upon looking at him in one go. And even at this point, he hasn't forgotten the dharma. Don't you think this is what dharma is? And what kind of rigor it takes for someone to be dharmagya? We think that dharmagya is very easy, and to know dharma is very easy. History of Dharma Shastra. You go through the entire series of Dharma Shastra and you know the dharma. Hridisthas sarvabhutanam atma veda shubha shubham. Only Atma knows what is Shubha and what is Ashubha. Nobody else. And to know that Atma, you need to have Dharma. Without Dharma, there is no Atma Jnana. There is no knowledge of self without Atma. That Atma is Iswara, no? Hridisthas sarvabhutanam Atma. That Hridisthas sarvabhutanam Atma is Ishvara. And to that Ishvara, if we want to reach that Ishvara, what do we need? We need Dharma. If you remember in the previous class, the first segment was about the Swarotpatti. The very purpose why the Swara emerges, comes out, is that so that it can lead us back to Ishvara, because it is its Dharma. Only when the pronunciation, only when the Swara is in the right notion, only when the Swara is placed in a certain sequence, in a certain manner, then only the Swara will lead to Ishvara. Then the journey from Ishvara to Swara is completed. With these concluding remarks, I would like to bring this session to closure. I'm sorry, I've become very greedy from the past two sessions. I've utilized exactly 90 minutes, complete 90 minutes, to be honest. So if there are any questions, and of course, in the next session, we will definitely allow more people to speak, because now that one big episode, one big chunk of episode has been cleared, it will give more clarity to understand what Rama is, what attributes Rama possessed, and how one should perceive Rama, or how one should look at Ramayana. Every time Valivadha Prasanga comes, there should be only one underlying theme: Dharma. If I don't get that theme of Dharma, if I'm not looking at Dharma when this entire episode is being played in front of me, or being enacted in front of me, or I myself am enacting that on stage, I'm only focusing on all the technicalities. Technicalities is good. Being technically sound is good. It is a necessary thing, and it is a necessity. Be technically good. But if you are weak philosophically, if you are weak intellectually, then your technicality is of no use. I'm sorry. Technicality is of no use whatsoever if you're poor intellectually. So we have to enrich ourselves intellectually, and we have to enrich ourselves spiritually. And that spiritual enrichment brings more value to technicality. And I am not speaking this just people might not know that side of mine, because most of the times they would have heard me speaking only about Vedanta, yoga, the darshanas. Okay. I also happen to be a student of aesthetics myself. So I've done my research on that. So I know when I speak all these things. So when a poet, this is what the Shastra says, when a poet starts focusing more on the alankaras, more on the similes and metaphors, and their whole idea is to fix, or their whole idea is to present these metaphors only, they lose the topic, they lose the content, they lose the entire plot. The plot is in rasa. So if one forgets that rasa and focuses only on the periphery, only on the technical details, alankaras are technical details when it comes to poetry. So in any art, in any discipline, there will be technical details, there will be core. We have to hold on to the core. The core of life is spirituality. The core of life is dharma. If we understand dharma, then everything else will be proper, will be fine, will be absolutely great. And with this, I would like to conclude. And and next week, we will take up some interactions, feedback, and everything from this, from the audience. Rama's ancestors, Ikshvaku, why couldn't Rama call his own troops to get back Sita? Why Vanara he needed? Yeah. Why he did not call upon his own troops? In terms of military, Rama was a great military strategist. You have to see the distance as well, no? So the entire army has to cross, has to come down all the way from Ayodhya. Okay. And that would require more time. And how much time did Rama have after he got to know about Sita's whereabouts? How much time did Sita give? This is the counter question that I want to ask. Now, how much time did Sita give via Hanuman through her message to Rama and Lakshmana? So 1 month. And do you think it is practically possible to bring an army all the way from Ayodhya to the south and then march and cross the ocean? Who have no clue whatsoever. They are not from this land. They don't know how to do this. And Sugriva, on the other hand, has an army readily available at his command. There was no time. Strategically, there is no time. So therefore, he had to choose Sugriva's army. That is Vanara army. All right. Okay. I think we can conclude the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.